Good evening and welcome to Weekly Wine News with Matt Denune. In Old World news, the Portuguese government plans to reform their cork tree forests following last year's deadly fires. Under the plan, the government is looking to expand the area of cork tree forests by at least 50,000 hectares by offering incentives to farmers who plant the thick, medium-sized trees with slow-burning outer barks. The cork is also a major export for the country, which produces more than half of the world's cork and ships about 986 million euros a year of cork-based products. Private companies in the industry are working with researchers to reduce the time in which the slow-growing cork tree bears its first harvest of cork bark from about 25 years to less than 10. Another way they're trying to bolster production is to increase the density of oak tree plantations to about 300 trees per hectare, up from 70 trees per hectare. If the incentives are successful and more trees are produced, this will certainly help the ever-growing demand for cork in the wine industry. Sales of champagne hit a new high in 2017, with turnover setting a new record at 4.9 billion euros or 6 billion US. According to the Committee Champagne, the sales were driven by exports, which were up 2.8 billion euros, 6.6% compared with 2016. Notably, the UK remains the number 2 market for champagne by value. Sales fell by 5.7% or 20 million euros thanks to the Brexit effect, with volumes down 11% total. Sales in France itself were stable, while value increased slightly in Germany. Italy grew by 9.7%, but spectacular growth was to be found in Asia, where overall volumes were up 15.5% and 19.2% in value. The president of Committee Champagne told a press conference at ProWine that their future is in the US, Japan, and China, but not in Europe, adding that the most growth was coming from the USA, Australia, Korea, Japan, and Russia in particular. Though the success was not shared equally by everyone in Champagne, he admitted in response to a press question about who in the region was seeing the growth, he said, "It's quality houses and co-ops. Those in the lower range are suffering," and added that the gains were going to the most dynamic wineries. A group of leading Sussex wine producers in England have collaborated to form Sussex wineries, with the intention of promoting wine tourism in the region. Sussex is widely regarded as producing some of the best sparkling wines worldwide. Having won several international competitions, their vineyards are based on a diverse range of soil types, including the iconic chalk of South Downs. The first collaborative event will be Sussex Wineries Weekend, held between the 15th and 17th of June. If you want to find out more information on all the wineries included and some tourism opportunities, please visit their website at sussexwineries.co.uk. In New World news, with vines coming alive for another vintage across the Northwest, growers are waking up to the realities a new season is thrusting upon them. In British Columbia, growers face prospects of delays in securing foreign seasonal workers, especially from Mexico. The province's minimum wage will also increase from $1.30 to $12.65 Canadian on June 1st. This is the first and largest in a series of increases aimed at lifting it to $15.20 Canadian an hour by 2021. In the US, Washington is raising its own minimum wage over the same period from $11 today to $13.50 in 2020. While employee benefits tend to be greater in Canada, changes are coming in Washington with the launch in January 1st, 2018 of paid sick leave and the introduction in 2020 of paid family and medical leave. Combined with the tighter supply of labor, the environment for wineries and vineyards is changing and prompting operators to take a closer look at mechanization. In 2016, when manual labor cost $924 an acre, the comparative cost of mechanization was $695 an acre. This year, manual labor costs are estimated at $1,222 an acre, while the same work done by a machine would cost $779 an acre. By 2020, when Washington's minimum wage reaches its all-time high at $13.50 an hour, manual labor will cost $1,317 an acre, while mechanization will cost $863 an acre, a savings of $450 an acre. That's more than double the difference in 2016. Now, while many of us wax poetic about the qualities of hand-harvested fruit, the writing seems to be on the wall regarding the cost-effectiveness for the vintner. Red blotch virus, a DNA infection that decreases a grape's sugar levels on the vine, has been confirmed in Calaveras County, which lies east of Napa in California. Red blotch is a serious threat to wine grape production, although it does not show its signature symptoms of changes in leaf color until late summer or fall, about when grapes are being harvested. The virus moves to the base of the plant during dormant periods and moves back to the grape shoots and leaves as the grape grows. Visible red blotches appear on vines infected with the virus, and there can be a substantial reduction in Brix or sugar levels, which is important as winemakers transform the sugar in grapes into alcohol. As of yet, no cure for the virus has been discovered or developed. The only recourse available to growers at this point is to remove the infected vines completely. In other news, the American wine industry has been reacting to the new 15% tariff imposed on U.S. wines imported to China. The California Wine Institute argues the White House should support wine exports more and says that the new 15% tax could be catastrophic to its efforts to make inroads in the market. Despite concerns about the future, analysts expect the economic damage to be limited in the short term. Inside China, tariffs would likely mean higher prices. But experts on the issue say American brands are likely to be able to hold on to many of their customers who are already prepared to spend more. If demand in China does slip, many winemakers say they are confident they will find buyers for those bottles in other markets. The volumes are small enough that no changes in price are expected. Experts agree China's list of targeted items filled with high-profile products like wine is intended to inflict political rather than economic pain, creating the conditions for a compromise. With the U.S. wine industry looking for substantial growth in China, we all hope for a speedy resolution. A U.S. consumer is ready to settle a lawsuit against Titos Handmade vodka after arguing that the brand deceived drinkers into believing it is handmade. Trevor Singleton said Tito's misled consumers by proposing that it is handmade and crafted in an old-fashioned pot still. He added that the company charges a higher price due to better quality associated with handmade products. According to Singleton, the vodka is actually made in a massive buildings containing 10 floor-to-ceiling stills and bottling 500 cases an hour with little to no human involvement. While the U.S. District Judge overseeing the case threw out the proposed class action suit, it's now reported that the parties have settled or are settling the case at a New York federal court. The amount of the settlement has not been disclosed. Australian wine producer Brown Brothers is set to pull its namesake brand out of the UK, describing it as unsustainable for our company. Dean Carroll, CEO of Brown Brothers, says it's their belief that the UK is now the most unforgiving market in the wine world, and the opportunities for them elsewhere are exciting and far more appealing, and therefore must be pursued enthusiastically. Brown Brothers will continue to operate in Europe under a tighter focus, while the company's Innocent Bystander and Tasmanian wine brands will still be sold in the UK. In sadder news, the UK's pioneering Italian wine champion, Renato Crostini, was remembered at his funeral recently for his role in establishing high-end Italian estates in the UK market from the early 1970s. In a career that spanned several decades, Crostini was responsible for establishing leading names such as Massey in the UK, along with the import and sale of a roll call of greats that runs from Alighieri, Bondisanti, Cadabosco, Tagaia, Maculan, Tedeschi, and many, many others that are now famous estates. He will be remembered by his friends and family as a happy man whose love for wine paved the way for many great producers to reach many new markets. That's the wine news this week. Thank you for joining us. I'm Matthew Denune. Please remember to subscribe to Wine News Weekly so we can continue to bring you these lovely wine updates. Please remember to like this video so we can continue to provide great content for you. And please leave a comment about any important aspects of the wine world you would like us to stay abreast of. For now, cheers. Have a great week.